Oh my goodness. Amazing Grace, it's Sunday day. It is Sunday. It is Sunday. Yeah, just waiting for some people to join me. And last time I was on, I missed a message from YouTube. But the positive thing was that it showed me that YouTube is happening. So, whoever you were, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. I don't know, 11 o'clock on a Sunday, is that a good idea? I think it is. I think a lot of people would like to get a spiritual tune-up before the week starts. And I think that I know that this is the place. Hey, Karen, you are the first person to join this morning. Happy Sunday. Hey, Detroit. Hey, Texas. Ooh, we're going international. Heck yeah. Hey, Cindy. Hi, guys. Happy Sunday. Hi, Sheila. And then there's somebody who's just the @ sign. That's very meta. I like it a lot. That's very cool. Hi, Beth. Hi, Macaulay. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Nama. How are ya? Cool. All right. So happy Sunday. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Wanda. Debbie. If I keep going, I won't say anything else, but hi, Roman. Hi, Mary, Roma, Mandy. Mandy's. I love Mandy Patinkin. What a human being. Him and his wife, amazing human beings. Okay. So here we are with the tarot that is through the lens of the feminine. This is where we are going. We are looking at leadership, including the feminine, and that does not mean something that is weak. It is so freaking time to not see. It's time to understand what the heck the feminine is. Okay, so let me talk about that for just a second. And then anybody here who wants a reading, I want you to pick a number between 1 and 6, and you'll find out in a minute why if you haven't already been here before. And then I can do a reading for you. And I better get a piece of paper or I'm not going to be able to keep track of none of y'all. Oh, and I was going to put on my cool glasses. I love these. I love glass frames. I love glasses frames. I call those my Harry Potter glasses frames. Just saying. Okay. Although his weren't nearly as cool as these are. Yeah. Feel free to join me, to follow me, and you can send me anything you want to send me on here because I am just in the process of learning. Okay, so here, if you put in between a 1 and a 6, here's what happens. I have a tarot spread called the Good Girl Exit Plan. Now, when I look up here, y'all, like when I'm doing this, it's because I'm still arguing with my tech. And I just got a new laptop, so it just made it worse. And up here is YouTube, and down here is TikTok. So I'm just saying. Right, I will pull a card for the collective that is here today, and we'll see what our general collective energy is. Really scattered at the moment, but that's to be expected, right? Because we're all different. So I'm going to get to the core of this, what it is that all of us, what do we all need to know? Here we go. Okay, so here's what popped out. Page of Pentacles. This is for all of us, for the collective. Pages are beginning at something. And that's really cool for what we're doing here on this channel, because what we are all collectively doing here this morning, if you've been attracted to this, if you've been here before, This is really about changing the way we see ourselves and lead our own lives. And it's also about how we lead as business leaders. Now, women have followed the masculine only perspective because it's what we've all been given. And the masculine only perspective has the problem of being imbalanced. Yeah, imbalanced. So, what that means is that we've got things like go for the goal, look at the bottom line, measure how people are doing as if they are machinery. We don't have the feminine of put people first. If you make people feel valued and you give them their personal agency, you give them their ability to actually do their thing. Like you say, okay, well, what else do you know? And they go, well, by the way, I have a frickin' PhD in HR. And you're like, what? So what are some of the extrapolations from that you do? And they might be like, well, I give amazing workshops in helping people become very proactive. And you go, that's exactly what I need for my department, or that's exactly what I need for my business, or I want to partner with you in my entrepreneurship. When you start actually talking to people, which is the feminine, then you are changing the game. You're changing the leadership game. So Page of Pentacles. Pentacles. It has to do with real life. It has to do with what are we actually doing in our day-to-day. So it's not what are we just thinking about and doing here, but what are we putting into action in our behaviors, in the way that we think, the way that we feel. But first of all, I think because we are such a brainy society, we're so aligned with this, right? It's just the way that we've been enculturated. And when we are thinking here, we're not really in touch with our emotions. We may be able to name them, but we're not feeling them. And the problem with that is your emotions are energy. And when you don't acknowledge them, but you're like aware, then that's how you get stuck in an emotion. Because it's knocking on the door. It's going, hello, hello, hello. And you're going, I don't want to pay any attention. It's going, I'm not leaving. So this is why it's super, super important to not only acknowledge your emotions, but to feel the energy of it and to understand that we're not going to get stuck in an energy. We're going to start moving forward with it. So let me give you an example. So if you're really ticked off, you're just really pissed. Something has happened. Somebody's talked down to you. You have been passed over for that promotion, and you know it's because, given the circumstances, you know it's because you're not a man and that is pissing you off or whatever it is. You don't want to stay in that resentment, but you want to acknowledge that you are right to be upset. Okay, so the first thing is, I'm upset. Oh, that feels just like, ugh. Oh my God, that feels insane. It feels like heat and it feels like crazy. And then you're like, where do I want to go next? Where do I want to go next? Oh, by the way, if any of you would be so kind as to send me an ice cream cone. I decided to go away from the roses because, it's summer. So if you're ice cream cone, send me an ice cream cone. What does it cost? $0.015? Which I just learned this morning. I'm just learning. I love it. So I figured, yeah, ice cream cone. Or send a real one if you can squish it through the screen. I'm just saying. So we, as a collective of women and men who are aware of their feminine and are aware that it's been missing for millennia, and that's why we are messed up, baby. That's why we're messed up. Yeah. That's what this channel is, to help you move out of stuckness into proactivity. But I'm not talking about the proactivity that means you have to grind. I'm not into the grind culture anymore. I did it for decades and it got me exactly nowhere. That's because I'm emotionally based, me personally. Adding the feminine, the emotion, the intuition, the inspiration, the spiritual into who you are, what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're thinking, how you're whatevering, is super, super important because we've been imbalanced forever. Tammy, you know what, honey? I'm gonna pull a card for you. Now, this is what I have is a tarot spread called the Good Girl Exit Plan. Okay? Because the good girl simply meaning there are these rules that we've all learned to follow, and they just don't serve us. They don't free us. They don't make us feel strong. We go through a million workshops and all of the different kinds of therapies that we can do. And I love both workshops and good therapy, not hideous therapy, but good therapy. But somehow we don't seem to move forward. Why is that? Why is that? All right. So it's because we're following those rules. They're emotional, they're mental, they're everything. And so I created something called the Good Girl Exit Plan Tarot Spread. Here are the different placements in it. Hang in there, Tammy. And if you're still with us, then I will ask you to put in a number between 1 and 6. Here are the card placements. There are 6 of them. What a concept. Okay, the inherited script, all those things that we just learned because we grew up with who we grew up with, whoever raised us. Number 2 is the silenced voice. This is all about what is keeping you from saying what you need to do, ask for what you want to have or be. Number 3 is the energetic leak. Where are you maybe not even aware that you're letting all of your strength just sort of eke away? 4 is the sacred rage catalyst. And rage and anger, these are very, very, very important things for women because we live in a depth of unfairness that even we don't understand. We've just learned to adapt, keep going. This is not what works. Number 5 is quantum choice. This is what is that one thing that you need to focus on right now that's going to move you forward. And the number 6 is embodied sovereign, which is here's who you really are. Okay, so I'm getting embodied sovereign for you, Tammy, and I'm just gonna start doing this, the magic shuffle. Okay, this is for Miss Tammy. What do we want for Miss Tammy? For her embodied sovereign. What? Oh, you wanted that one. Okay. Sometimes I go too fast. Hey, Tammy, are you a total badass? Are you the person who is the transformer? The one who has the ideas that makes people go, dang, I didn't want to think about that. I didn't want to think about it. Why do you make me have to challenge myself? Why is that happening? Is that who you are? Because that's what this card says. The Tower card looks like disaster, but what it is it's the one who is the breakthrough queen. You are the breakthrough queen. Now, you may or may not. Let's see. I think you do some of that. I think you already do some of this, or a lot of this. And I want to share with you that one of the things you may want to think about is that when you are, and I am also this, when you do this, you also have to take care in certain circumstances to translate yourself to people who are not at that high vibration of like, that focused vibration. You might, and quite often will have to translate yourself. Now, just to be aware, this does not mean that you have to quiet yourself. This doesn't mean that you have to do the traditional good girl nonsense of, oh, let me just pretend that I'm not what I am. But if you want people to really change, if you want situations to really change, then people are all different. They have all different sorts of energies and perspectives and emotional gateways. because the way that we really communicate is actually through emotion first. I coined a term called emotional linguistics. Linguistics is a study of language, and it's not just words. It's meaning, it's environment, it's all kinds of stuff. So emotional linguistics is how do I perceive you as the person you are, and I understand who you are emotionally because I can feel into that. And then how do I take my message, which I will never back down off of, right? Change maker. And how do I translate it to you so that you will actually make the changes and the transformations and get me? So keep doing your thing, Miss Tammy. Keep doing it. Sherlock joined. Oh my God. It's Benedict Cumberbatch. Can you imagine growing up with that name? Oh my God. Okay, a card jumped out. King of Pentacles. Who's that for? Who is that for? Hey, do me a favor, y'all. Join me. Like, what am I trying to say? Follow me. And if you like anything that I'm doing, hit me up with some hearts. Hey, it's free. Anyway, it's hotter than hell here. I'm in Ohio, and it's freaking hot here. King of Pentacles. So I guess this is for the collective again. We women have got to take our sovereignty into our own two hands. Now, what does that mean? I'll tell you what, we women are freaking tired. We are tired, okay? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Because we've been working for our whole entire lives to survive, to fit in, to fit out, to try to figure out how to game the system because the system is imbalanced. It's masculine only, and that doesn't work for us. I wish I could explain to you just how much you have not accomplished and that it's not your fault. It's because of the system. Okay? Yeah, it's because of the system. So when we take a look at our net, look at what he's wearing. She, these are all women in this deck. This deck is badass. This deck is very, very cool. It's the Modern Witch Tarot deck. Very cool. All women, all different colors. Absolutely love it. So, oh my God, I thought he was wearing like leopard, but he's not. She, see, what the hell? I thought she was wearing, but she's not. It's strawberries. But nonetheless, my message to you is going to be the same because it's the king. This is a woman. Remember, Lori, this is a woman. Yes, they're all women in this deck. We have got to know our natural leadership. I don't care if you're leading in business or not, but you've got to know your natural leadership. You absolutely have to. And what do I mean by your natural leadership? Well, what I mean is, have you ever, I don't know, have you ever seen a woman who has a house and kids and a husband or a wife and a business? You think that's leadership? Yeah, it's leadership. Come on. And then we're out there in the world and people are looking at something. It's a power we have to take back into our own hands. And I will tell you how. We've tried fighting, right? We've tried changing jobs. We've tried doing our own businesses. We've tried all kinds of things. And the deal is that we have to change reality. What? I can't change freaking reality. Are you out of your damn mind, Lori? What's your problem? Come on. Forget that stuff. What are you saying? Yeah, I know. This is not about manifestation. This is not about think your positive thoughts. That's not what I'm talking about. Once upon a time, 3 years ago, I learned something so freaking deep about how I can change not change, like, okay, um, I want a boat. I've never wanted a boat in my life, but that seems to be my go-to. I want a boat, so I'm going to manifest a boat. No, you know what I really want? You know what women really want? We want our worth acknowledged. We want our abilities given room to grow. We want to be supported by each other. And speaking of that, by the way, I have a Wednesday Women's Circle Mastermind, which we come together and we talk about how to level up and not have to fight, but create something different. Because I don't know if you've noticed in the US and really in the world, but I don't know if you noticed the world that our country's fallen apart. That's because we're going to rebuild it with a balanced, divine feminine, divine masculine instead of toxic masculine 98%. Sound good? Sounds good to me. Holy mother. So how do we change? How do we change things? And what am I talking about? What I'm talking about is if you've ever, and I know you have, gotten up in the morning and you're like, I have to go to that freaking job. I have to go to that I need that freaking money. And I have to be with that dumb person and that stupid boss. And did I just drop a card? No. And I have to go do this stupid thing every day and I'm exhausted and I come home and I'm like, I want to start a side hustle or I want to start a business. And how do I do it? And you're like, forget it. I can't do it. And then you're depressed. Then you're frustrated, right? So instead of that, what if you could change? This is not a sales pitch, by the way, so don't be afraid. What if you could change where you stand in relationship to all of that? What if instead of feeling really victimized all the time, what if instead, this card popped out, you could say, I'm not fighting you. I'm moving forward. I'm going to be my own person. I'm going to start to rely on my own strengths. And part of that is the feminine that y'all keep telling me, not you guys here on this live. But it's not the shaming that all of the systems have given us. Oh, you're too emotional. That garbage is ridiculous. Of course I'm emotional. I'm human, you ditzoid. Yes, I'm emotional. Of course I am. Are you kidding? We got to get on the move, y'all. But not moving against. We got to move in our own direction together. For real. How do we do that? Okay, first of all, you cannot do this all by your lonesome. I'm sorry. You can make some strides within the brain that you have. But if you don't have outside information coming in, how are you going to break out of all of the traditional crap that you believe you can't change? Because we all have been taught that we can't change the game. It's not true. Where's our power, you ask? Where's that power? It is in that thing they really don't want us to have. There's no mistake there. Ooh, cards flipping out everywhere. Oh my God. Cards flipping out everywhere. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. So here's one of the 3 cards that just popped out. This is what we've been living with, y'all, okay? We've been living with rules. Now, let me tell you, there's 2 sets of rules here. I'm not talking about the feminine rules and the masculine rules. I'm not talking about the woman rules and the masculine and the male rules. I'm talking about the external social shoulds, the external social conditioning rules. Don't be too loud. You're not loud enough. You're not white enough. You're not thin enough. You're not young enough. You need to be appropriate. You need to seem desirable in order to have worth. All this garbage that we've just gotten from the outside, and we still get it every single day. In ads, in people's jokes. We get it in so many ways that you may not even be aware of. But this is my study. This is what I am aware of. And what it does is it messes with it messes with your subconscious, and it plants these patterns in your brain so that you get used to saying these things. It's not that you lack talent. It's not that you have some kind of a trauma that will not allow you to be and think and have better. It's patterns. It's patterns of thought that started with the emotion. The emotion launched. Oh, so and so did this. That means, and you decide that means this negative, awful thing. And then you keep repeating it. I'm not this. I'm not very good. I'm not very good. I'm not very good. I could never do that. I could never do that. So this has two sides. One is the external message, things that are coming in from outside. The other side is all that programming, all the programming. Okay. But you know where the power lies? Just like I said, it's in our emotions. Now, what the hell am I talking about? What do I mean it's in our emotions? And this goes for men too. But women, ladies, listen. How many times have you heard this message of you're not supposed to be emotional? There's no emotion in business. Really? Boss man, then how come you're pissed off all the time? Okay. Emotion is the thing. Why? Why? What does emotion have to do with freaking anything? That doesn't have anything to do with my productivity at work and my bottom line and all that stuff. Right. It's not supposed to. Not supposed to. What emotion is? Thank you for the hearts, you guys. That makes me, there's something about when those hearts like rise up. It just makes me feel like I've received a kiss on my heart. It's really nice. I love it. That's a cheap thing to love, right? Awesome. Appreciate you guys. And once I find the like applause button, I'll be able to do some more stuff. But like I said earlier, I'm fighting with technology and my new computer. So, whatever. Alrighty. So why is emotion the thing? Oh, look at all those hearts. See? Now look, if somebody just gave you a bunch of hearts like that, there's just something about it makes you feel something good. Okay. Why is this important? There is something called the ladder of emotions. You can look it up on Google or DuckDuckGo, which is another browser that doesn't track your movements. Just saying. Entertainment purposes only. Got to say that apparently for the, the censors, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So emotion is energy. Okay, I'm going to explain something to you that you may already know or you may not. But you've heard of law of attraction and you've heard of manifestation and all that stuff. And if you're like me, you've taken a million different classes and gone, I still don't get it. So I finally got it, but not from the perspective it's usually taught. All right. Emotion is energy. When you walk into a room and you feel fabulous, you feel like you are just in the best space ever. You are 10,000 times more likely to have people see you who are vibrating close to your vibration or above. And those people are the ones who will talk to you. You won't get the boring person standing in the corner because you're too much for them. You're too much for them. Your energy is too much. It's not about your personality. It's your energy. So go to DuckDuckGo or Google or Bing or wherever you go and look up emotional ladder. And you're going to see the very, very bottom of the emotional ladder is depression. The very, very top is bliss. Now, since you've been raised more than likely, well, for those of you who have been raised in the US, and for those of you who've been raised with this masculine only perspective, oh, that would be the whole world. Okay. Then you're going to think, well, then I have to go from depression to bliss? No, absolutely not. You have to go from depression to frustration or anger or something that is just a step, just a different sensation than that anger. You have to go into your emotion. And that is when you start to refine that, when you start to refine that practice. And I have a free course on this that you can have. So, send me a DM, do something, and I'll give you the link, okay? Because this is what cured me of 40 years, 40 years of clinical depression. I still have depression, but I don't have it. Like that's controlled with medication. But even with the medication over 40 years, I still was depressed every day. Terrific, wonderful. Now I don't have that. And that's using emotion and an understanding of how this stuff works. So if you're going, what the hell, this is the third card that came out. It's the Fool. Now, the Fool card doesn't mean you a fool. You're not an idiot. You're not. This is the stepping off place that we're at, ladies. We've tried everything else. We've tried fighting the misogyny. We've tried stepping away from it in terms of still holding to, well, if I do this, maybe they'll wake up. That's not really stepping away. We've tried blaming ourselves. We've tried gaming the system, whatever it is, whether that's a job and if you're a leader, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a leader in corporate, you have been trying to jump through hoops that cannot be jumped through physically alone, mentally alone. You cannot do it. It's not, that game was not made for you. The game wasn't made for us. The game is focused on the toxic masculine. I'm not saying masculine is toxic. There's divine masculine and there's toxic masculine. If you're in a corporation, you're either going to have to become the sexiest woman in the world and start manipulating the situation, or you're going to have to like fight the system, fight your way up. I mean, it's like there are all these different ways that are not us. They're not who we want to be. They're not who we are. The real way is you start to align with who and what you want to be. This is backwards from what we've ever been taught. And it requires going, you know what? I've tried everything else. Screw it. I'm going to step off and try something different. And the something different is understanding that when you can shift your energy through your emotion, when you can shift it, I'm talking 1%, y'all. I'm not talking like now you have to go out and grind at this. No, it's actually the opposite. It's so cool. It's actually the opposite. Crazy. It's crazy stuff. It turns out, I didn't know this. It turns out that what really grows us and what really grows our business is our energy, is our little tiny steps. Not like jump over the dam. Tiny steps is where we build, and we build faster. So the masculine, the masculine leader, they're like determined. They've got this like, I'm going to succeed. And because that's supported by the society that we grew up in, they can focus on that. And because they're so focused and their emotions are involved with it, it doesn't even have to be conscious in this respect for any of us. If you're that focused on something that you're like, I'm going to have this because I want it, because I'm gonna, and you have no barriers to that, you're going to get what you want. You are. Look at the person who's running our country. Well, at the person who's destroying our country right now. He has no doubt that he is like the best and that he deserves to have all this stuff. So he's gotten all this stuff. And it's not real. but he gets all the stuff. So you're like, well, but I'm passionate. I want to have my own business. I want to have a husband. I want to, whatever it is that you're looking for. By the way, y'all, just to repeat, this channel is for you to grow in your sovereignty, right? This is all about your sovereignty, all about teaching you how much power you truly do have to switch where you stand in relationship to all that you want, and how to resonate, how to align yourself with you again. How to align with you so that you start to have an incredibly better relationship with yourself, with your life, and with the possibilities that you want to have come in. I spent 40 years being really good at anxiety. Really good. Oh my God, I could be anxious about anything in about a half a second and stay that way for months. I'm not kidding. Not even kidding. Now, I am so happy now. You know why? Because I took my dang sovereignty back. This just came out. The Empress, she's not a consort of nobody, baby. She's her own being. She's her own self. This is who you are. You are Her Majesty. You may not feel it, or you may feel it sometimes, or you may have a sense inside of you that you are all that. The problem is you've been socialized to believe that you're not supposed to think that. Oh, I'll use a phrase we don't even think about much anymore. Oh, that's unladylike. Oh, I'm being braggy. I'm being braggy. That's terrible. You better brag. Who else going to brag for you? Who else is going to brag for you? Have you been waiting long enough for somebody to tell you you're awesome? Because God, it ain't coming. You listen, if you suck at this, because most of us do to start out with, ask your best friend. Say, listen, tell me how fabulous I am. Tell me. And they're going to tell you. And then you're going to be like, I don't believe a word of it. Like you're not going to say that to them, but you're not going to feel connected with it at first if this is like the first step. Okay. And that's not your fault. It's not your fault. Listen to Mama Lori. I'm telling you, it's not your fault. Seriously, it's not. It's the way we've been programmed. And once you are emotionally programmed, then you have an emotional set point. And it's not like, and it's called a set point, but it's not like one point. Like think about all the things that you think about and believe in and feel about, and they're all different, right? How you feel about relationship, how you feel about work, how you feel about money, how you feel about all that stuff. And then imagine you threw all of those beliefs like into a soup. You threw them all into a really beautiful soup. The taste of all of those put together, that's the energy you're putting out. That's the energy. It's fascinating. It's fascinating and it's true. And that's where we have been told to stay away from it. There is a podcast called Next Level Soul. And there was an interview that I watched a few weeks ago, and I just stumbled on it again this morning, actually. And the title was The Divine Feminine Band, with band in all caps. And I was like, duh. And the man who was being interviewed on this thing is talking about how back at the start of the Christian religion, the feminine was removed from the practice of spirituality and made into religion. I don't know about you, but that leaves me a little speechless. And also, no big surprise. Right? Listen, hey, while you're here, share this out with your friends. I'm here for another 22 minutes. And do me a favor and send me, I don't know, some hearts, or follow me. And I'm the person who is helping women step into their sovereignty and do business differently. But this is who you are, you all. That's you. Sorry about the way this looks on TikTok. I am fighting with my new computer, and I've got TikTok here and YouTube here. Oh, thank you so much for the hearts. There is just something about those dang hearts. Just makes me happy. Oh, you can also send me if you're a gifter, you can send me an ice cream cone. Yeah. Oh my God, Twitter is the most. Twitter? What did I just say? Somebody slapped me. Twitter, I have always hated that platform, and I even hate it worse now. This is TikTok. It's definitely a Sunday morning. You love the background? Thank you so much. You know what? You know how I got that background? Um, I got this thing. I got that thing off of Temu for a really nominal amount. And then I went over to a place called, doesn't matter, it's like a discount place, and I got a room divider and I sewed it. I literally sewed it to the room divider. Thanks for the hearts, y'all. It just really makes me happy. What can I tell you? Maybe I'm just a cheap date. I don't know. So, oh, you sent me an ice cream cone, Carrie. Thank you. Oh my God, it's my first ice cream cone. What flavor did you send me? Carrie. Oh my God, you sent 5 of them? Child. Oh, thank you. All right, that gets you a card. You wanted to meet my goal. Oh, sweet mystery of a life at last. Thank you. That's so sweet. Oh my God, Carrie. Well, you know that means I have to pull a card for you. You know that's what that means. So let's do some shuffling. Shuffle off to Buffalo, baby. Aw, thanks, babe. Really, that just just makes my day. I'm going out to lunch after this with my best friend, and I'm gonna be like, ice cream cones, and she's gonna be like, you what now? You did what? All right, Carrie. So listen, if you have a desire to have a specific reading from, a one card reading from the Good Girl Exit Plan, my tarot spread goes like this, and you can choose between 1 and 6. The Inherited Script, the Silenced Voice, the Energetic Leak, Sacred Rage Catalyst. Yes. Quantum Choice and Embodied Sovereign. So if you want me to read from the perspective of any one of those that calls to you, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just choose one. Because I think I know which one I would choose, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, I'm just going to keep shuffling here. Yeah, yeah. So is your best friend not still with us, honey? Or do you mean you just if you were going out to lunch? I would say whatever is clever. My best friend also watches the what is that job about the job? What is that show about the midwives? So she watches that and I don't. She always says to me, "You're a clever girl. You're a clever girl." All right, so I'm going to read to you. Let's see. I think it's got to be quantum choice. I think it's got to be quantum choice perspective. Okay, here we go. All right, we want a card for Carrie. Carrie. English is a tough language for people to learn. I'm told it's the hardest language that we can learn. All right, you get 2 cards because they both popped out. Okay, quantum choice. All right, so let me feel into this one. So we've got the Hanged Man, but it's really a woman. All the cards in this deck are women. Awesome deck. Totally awesome deck. Okay. Quantum choice. Okay. So Carrie, I feel your strength is what I feel. Excuse me. I very much feel your strength. You've been through things, you've learned from things. Your general energy, your general emotional energy is grounded. You're very grounded. You have your moments like we all do, but you're strong. You're a very strong woman. Now, what these cards tell me is that what will bring you to the next level, what you see, hi Tan, what you see for the next level, what will get you to the next level is something that for women who have learned who've had to do a lot on our own, which we all do. I could go on. I will stop. What we have to learn is the pause. We have to put on the pause button. This one has been traditionally one of the hardest freaking things for me. Oh my God. Now, I know very little about astrology, but I can tell you, I'm a Capricorn, and Capricorns MFing work. We frickin' work. You better work. Yes, RuPaul, we work. That's what we know to do. The problem is that's not balanced. You're a Leo Virgo. Yep. Single mom of 2 challenging kids. See, women do more work than men will ever know how to do. I'm telling you, until they start questioning, until they start being curious and asking us, what is it to be a woman? Because I think, honestly, even for a lot of us women, it pretty much stops at south of the border. That's what it means to be a woman. And we know better now. We've got people who are trans. We've got people who are more, and we ourselves, we're more than that. We're way more. Now, here's what happens when you put on the pause button and you go, the doing is really not the entire enchilada. Now, remember, just a little while ago, I was talking to you about emotion and it being energy. Now, you don't have to stop doing. You don't have to go, okay, I'm never going to do anything again. Good luck with that. Yeah, really, good luck with that. That's not going to happen. But here's the thing. If you look at, oh my God, I'm imbalanced. Oh my God, I'm pushing too hard. Oh my God, I'm not stopping. I've got to stop not stopping. Does that work? It really doesn't. It just makes you nuts. What you have to do, and this is how you bring in the feminine, what you have to do is bring in something tiny and positive that you can feel, that you can sense. And that energy is wherever you're standing, whatever energetic you're standing in. If you ratchet it up by 1% or even 0.001%, meaning you feel something, you let something else in as well, not instead. Stop trying to push out the dark. You let something else in instead. Like, oh, I love the leaves outside my window. They make me feel really like I can take a breath. And that feels good. See, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be like, I feel fabulous, darling. No, it's not like that. But when you let that in, that little 1%, that energy, which is what I am definitely telling you, you need to start playing your music more. Don't work on your music. Don't you dare. Girl, no. Stuff will come to you. Things will be given to you. Amazing happenstances will happen. The magic that we've been missing, every single woman I know has been missing, is the art of allowing, the art of play, the art of emotion, and letting that emotion inform you, and then letting yourself have the ability to add something else in and move forward. Because if you don't want to feel your emotions because you're like, well, I don't want to sit here and feel all this anger and frustration. Listen, you're going to feel it until you feel it. If you feel it up here, it's not moving. It's not moving energy. You've got to let the energy unfold and morph into something better. And here's another magic tip for you. Definitely you need to play your music more, Miss Carrie. What kind of music you play? I've been a jazz singer. I used to sing jazz at the wineries and stuff out in California for a while when I lived there. It was cool. The one thing I didn't learn was how to play the piano, which is sad because my mother was a pianist. She was a classical pianist and she was the bomb. She was amazing. But I didn't want to compete. So I didn't learn. Damn. Anyway, what we've been missing, all of us women, is something that it's the magic. Oh, freaking cool. Carrie DJ's electronic EDM performing, and she's going to be doing an EDM performing music fest in August. That's extremely cool, except I don't know what EDM means. So if you could clue me in there, I'd love it. Oh, it's so freaking cool. I've been a professional actor. I haven't worked in a while, but I'm a professional actor. I've been a professional singer. I'm a writer. I'm an entrepreneur. Electronic dance music. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, that's so cool. And I love dancing. Oh my God, they stuck me in like tutus and stuff when I was like, my mother stuck me in tutus and things when I was, I don't know, first grade and stuff. I'm sorry, Soph. Those are not the kinds of readings that I do, baby. You should go over to on YouTube. Go to the Oracle of Whimsy. The Oracle of Whimsy. She's when you were in tap shoes. You know what? I did tap shoes in my 30s, and you should have seen me. Oh my God, it was hilarious. There were these women in their 60s who were tap dancers and had been for their whole lives. Here I was coming in at 33 or something. At the end of the class, I would literally be on the floor gasping for breath. And these like 360-year-old women would be walking out with their bags over there. Like, yeah, let's go. Where you want to go eat lunch? And they're like not even out of breath. It was hilarious. It was a thing. So let me mention while I'm taking this moment that on Wednesdays, if you are a woman who is an entrepreneur or who is in business and you're really sick of doing the business thing through the normal ways, you still have your shoes, not me, baby. I left my tap shoes. But if you want to come and be part of a growing community of people of women who are looking at business from a much more humanistic, a much more emotional, a much more caring perspective, and doing that together because we think we haven't. It's hard to believe in something you haven't seen or experienced. I know that's like really, really freaking hard. But if you like masterminds, I have the Women's Circle Mastermind on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, it's free. 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It lasts a half hour and it's cool. I would love for you to come. So all you have to do to sign into that, to get on the list, actually is either DM me here on TikTok and say that you want to be in the Women's Circle Mastermind. Just write mastermind. I'll know what you're talking about. Or email me at goodbyegoodgirlproject@gmail.com. Goodbye, good girl, not goodbye girl. No, goodbye, goodgirlproject@gmail.com. Okay. Carrie wants to know what part of the country I'm in. I'm in the Midwest. I grew up in Ohio, and I'm back here after many years. And the energy of it, the sort of slower energy suits me. When I was out in California, I was miserable. Oh my God, I was just miserable out there. I know people love California, but it's not my place. All right, we got 7 more minutes. Let's see. Who else wants a reading? Looks like Nancy just joins, and let's see who else is in here. Francis. Fran, I can't tell you, babe, but if you go over, she wants to know if they'll move soon. That's not the kind of readings I do. But if you go over to YouTube to Oracle of Whimsy, Whimsy, she's really freaking good at this stuff. Really. Deanna, same message for you, babe. Let's see here. Who else is in here? Well, I don't know. Does anybody want a reading? That's really, there's the question. Does anybody want a reading about your sovereignty, your empowerment? Because honest to God, here's the deal. There are a lot of questions that we all have about, yes, Katie wants one. Katie, you got it, babe. You got it. What? Carrie, get the heck out of here. Seriously? I'm in Cincinnati and wow. Oh my God. Let me know where that is. And I'll try to come and maybe I'll find you or something. Wow, that's so cool. Ohio is way cooler than people think it is. I'm just saying. Okay, Miss Katie. All right, Katie. This is a 1-card read, and I'm using the Good Girl Exit Plan tarot spread. Because what we all got to do is understand that we actually have all the power we need to change everything about our lives. Does that mean control? No. It doesn't mean control of the external. Okay, well, now I'm going to say I want that boat. I'm going to get that boat. You know what? The divine knows better. Alex! It's my friend Alex! Yay! Oh my God, Alex! Yay! I'm so glad you're here, man. He's in frickin' Japan right now. He's a digital nomad. Woo, baby. You're in Michigan, Carrie. I used to go to Michigan all the dang time. I did. Okay, Katie. Katie's waiting for her reading. All right. So I'm going to choose one of the positions from my Good Girl Exit Plan tarot spread. I'm going to choose the... Did you all see that? Join my fan club. I don't know. The inherited script position. So whatever card comes out of here, Katie, I'll pull for you too, babe. Mr. Alex. Okay, inherited script. Yes, and these cards are going to they're so freaking awesome. I'm telling you. When I get those printed up. And I'm also going to be making, or I'm starting to work on a whole 78 card deck, and it's all about bragging rights. Isn't that cool? It's about bragging rights. Oh, thanks, babe. Thanks for the gift. All right, Katie's waiting. Katie's going, okay, get on with it. Oh, it's you, Alex. Oh, God, I love you way too much. Just way too much to just, speak it. You're awesome. You're awesome. Okay. Inherited script. Let's get a card for Katie. Miss Katie's been patiently waiting. Whoa, there goes a card. And it falls on the floor? Of course. Okay. Ho, ho, ho. We pulled this for somebody else today. The Tower card. Ooh, the Tower card. I am thinking, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be distracted, Katie. Let me focus. Okay. When we grow up, we're given a whole set of absolutely nonsensical, crazy ass rules. Some of them keep us from killing ourselves. Don't cross in front of a car. Don't cross the street in front of a car, right? Watch for the red light. Watch for the green. These are good rules. These are good rules. They keep us in our bodies. What a good concept that is. Some of the rules are complete garbage. They're made up by somebody who then decided, okay, well, I'm going to follow those rules. And I'm going to make those my God. I'm going to be able to judge me based on whether I followed those rules well enough or not. And I'm going to judge me based on whether the reward comes back from outside. And that's the masculine only, without the feminine included. That is the masculine only way of looking at our lives. It's imbalanced. We need masculine and feminine, masculine and feminine. That's what we need. We need them together. Okay? So I'm getting two messages here, Katie. One is that you were given a load of shit, honestly. Sorry, but you were given a lot of crap when you were a kid. And one of your opportunities is to take a look at just one. Take one. Please don't take a whole boatload. It's too much. Look at one thing that's holding you up. Try not to make it the heaviest thing, okay? Please try to start with something that is lighter, that is smaller, right? So let's say you took a bus and the bus driver was obnoxious to you and you're all pissed off and you're like, why did I let that stupid bus driver tick me off? What is that? Why? I shouldn't even care. I don't know this person. What do I care? Thank you for all those hearts, guys. It just, those little hearts, there's something about them, and all the gifts. Holy crap. Love it. What is it? Why would you care what this stranger who's a doofus or who's having a doofus day? Why would you care what they say to you? 'Cause he was a doofus. I know. But there are other doofuses that you've met where you're like, you're an idiot, and you walked away. So what's the difference? What's the difference? And that's where you get into the emotion. That's where you get into feeling the vibrational frequency, if you can access that, or you get into, you pick up a pen and a piece of paper and start writing. Just start writing. This son of a gun did this and I hate him and it reminds me of when blah, blah, blah. And I'm never going to ride a bus again. And you're like, and then, okay, put whatever you wrote, put it aside. Go do something else. Now, come back later, look at it, read it. You're going to have a little bit of distance between you and it, between you and those emotions. And you're going to be able to see more clearly. And as you do this, you know what happens? This happens. It starts to burn that stuff down. You start to burn that stuff down. It's free. There. Who's it? Bree. Bree! It's Bree! Hi, Bree! God, I've got Bree on one channel and Alex on the other. These are my business besties. Oh my God. I feel completely blessed. Anyway, Katie, you've got this because, wow. Oh my God. That's so cool. You've got this, honey, because you are never, excuse me, you are never, ever really trapped. Try not to hit me when I say that, because I know I was trapped. I was trapped. For 40 years, I was trapped. I was. Thanks, babe. Oh, God, I love you guys so much. Bree, I love you more than I can. Oh, holy crap. Thank you. Hey, Bree, how do you like the tarot spread? Yeah. So, I don't even know where I am. I'm just like, suddenly I'm floating. Goodness gracious. Oh, the card came out. I think it's for Bree. Oh. Oh, hey, Bree, put in a number 1 through 6. One of those, I got a card for you, but I need to know which perspective to read it through. Several trapped areas, Katie. Okay, let me talk to you about that. While Bree may or may not put in one of those cards, one of those tarot spread things. Okay, so why the heck, the spread is perfection, thank you. Why the heck? No, I'm so glad I said that. Okay, when we start asking why, that actually traps us more. Because what we're doing is we're saying, it's my fault, and now I have got to, you want number 3, Bree? I'll get to you next, babe. We are focused. We're focused on what we don't want, okay? We're focused on what we don't want. And we're good at focusing, you guys. We're super freaking good. We are so good at brooding. We are. Because the problem is, we see what's reality. Okay? We see reality, and we think that's the reality, the only one. This is all I have to go on. That's because we have not had the feminine. I'm going to recommend, Katie, that you go over to YouTube after this and you go look at Abraham Hicks and start looking at any of their stuff that talks about the earlier days, which is like 30, 35 years ago. It'll be even, that might work for you. So, and understand how emotion and emotional energy is your way out of stuckness. It's like, oh my God, I just got this image of like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. It was in your power all the time. And that's what you need to go figure out. That's what you need to go find, for my money. And again, I've got a free course about this that how you can shift your emotional set point and you can start to shift your life completely, your relationship to it. Stop looking to the outside. You already know everything you can know about the outside, and it's shifting all the time, but maybe not quickly enough. So the stuckness, anything that we're stuck in, it's because we're stuck. It's because we're only seeing one wing of the bird, the masculine only bird, instead of the masculine and the feminine. We all, men and women together, we all have the power to completely shift this whole freaking world, this whole country, literally overnight, when we experientially get that we shift our reality, when we shift our emotions by 1%. I'll be glad to talk to you about this, do a workshop about it, whatever, but you can also get my free course and let me know. DM me, email me at goodbyegoodgirlproject@gmail. I'll send you the link. It's all good. I'm telling you, this shifted my life for good. Okay, Miss Bree. Bree wants to have this card for the energetic leak. And Carrie, I know what you're talking about. Remind me of that later. Okay. Number 3, the energetic leak. This is the happiest card in the entire tarot deck. So how could the happiest card in the tarot deck be related to an energetic leak? And I think I said this to somebody earlier here today, that what we women, especially we women who've been through some stuff and who have learned I'm on my own out here, ain't nobody coming to rescue me. Thanks, Katie. Ain't nobody coming out here to rescue me. I got to do all of this by myself. I've got to carry the emotional weight. I got to carry the financial weight. I got to carry this. I got to carry that. I've got to give into this. I've got to give up for that. Life is like a freaking game of Clue. All right. And what we have to find our way to, in my opinion, this is what I teach anyway, is that we have to find our way to the balance. Where is your happiness? I'm not talking about your external situations. I am not. For anybody who's, feeling this, I'm not talking about your externals. I'm talking about what is it that you feel or that you can feel that's going to make you feel some relief. Forget happiness. If you're like, happiness, that's way too far for me. And instead you're like, I would like a little relief. I'd like to feel just a little bit better, honestly. I'd like to not be so mean to myself. I used to have 17,000 PhDs in being mean to me. I was good at it. Oh my God. I was so good at being cruel to myself. Really. I thought that's what I needed in order to move forward. And what I have found since I fell down in my life and went boom and had to start doing things differently and I had to start with myself because I had nothing, was that, I mean, I had nothing externally either. As I started to build, like, okay, and I have a therapist, by the way, who's lovely. She's all about the nervous system. Stop being so mean to yourself. Right. I'm telling you, we really do think, and it's because we've been enculturated to this. We've been taught that we have to kick ourselves, blame ourselves, correct ourselves, fix ourselves. None of that shit is true. But get us to believe it. Like, come on. No, that's what the world says. That's what the world says. No. No, it's real. I know it's a real thing. So what am I talking about? How do you do this? How do you do this? I remember once I was in my 20s, well into my depression. And there was a guy who said to me, well, when I feel like I'm just out of sorts, I go get myself a steak dinner. And I'm going to tell you this, and you're going to be like, why on earth would you share that? Because I want you to understand how very much we can be missing from ourselves. I was so certain that exactly. Bree said she often says to herself, it's not enough, do more. And that means you're not enough. Right. It's the doing thing. Okay, remind me about the doing. I get off track really super easy. So there was so much nobody home. My mother had died. I was a wreck. She died, I don't know, 5 years earlier, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. When he said to me, I go have a steak. Excuse me. Where's my water? I thought that was going to rescue me. I thought that was the answer. Capital T, capital A. I was so excited. I went out to get that steak and I like ordered that steak. I'm going to have that steak. And the steak came and nothing happened. I had it all external, none of it internal. We think that all effort is physical. It's what we know. We're not stupid. It's what we know. Right? It's what we've learned. Come on. Okay, from the time you're a kid, or at least from the time I was a kid, it was like, well, you got to go to college. You got to go to college, and then you'll get a good job, and then you'll get good money and all that stuff. And when I finally came out of the woodwork and said, you know what, I want to be an entrepreneur, I have a clue how to do that. You know what I did first? I worked 14 to 16 hours a freaking day, and it got me nowhere other than exhausted because I was trying to do it as if it were a corporate thing. Like that's all I knew to do. And I see entrepreneurs do this all the time. You're pushing themselves. I've gotten more incredible things started. And I've gotten, after 20 years, right? I tried for 20 years to be an entrepreneur and failed. Not now. Not only do I have Bree and Alex as my daily community and people who will come on like this and support me. I love them so much. And if I ever get the three of us and more of our community in one room together, we're all part of something called the Great Discovery. And if you're interested in learning about that, please talk to me because you are missing that boat. If I ever get the three of us in a room together, I don't know. I might have to shackle them both to the floor and never leave me because they're just awesome people. As I started working on my ability to have a kind moment, oh my, I'm not talking about suddenly I'm the kindest person in the world to myself. No. When I took a moment, and you know how it happened? I'm going to tell you this story too because this is so awesome. So I had come back from Ohio, from California to Ohio, and I had no money, no nothing. I'm in my 50s. Friends of mine are getting ready to frickin' retire. I'm starting over. I'm a wreck. I'm physically out because I have a hip that's bone on bone that nobody in California would operate on because I was too old. No, sorry, too young. Too young. Really? At 52, I'm too, okay. I was all out at the seams. So after I'd been back home for a while, staying with a friend, and I'm lying on the bed in the room that he gave to me, said, here, I won't charge anything, stay as long as you need to get back on your feet. I was just sitting on the bed and I was beating the crap out of myself. I was like, God, you're such an idiot. How could you end up in this situation? You were raised middle class. Your parents were well-known musicians. You're an idiot. God, they would hate you. You lost all your money. Like I was just like, and something really interesting happened. This moment of awareness happened where I felt inside my body the impact of each of those thoughts as if they were knives or like icicles, the icicles with the really, really pinpointed, it was like that. They felt like icicles, like coming out from inside of me and pushing against. It was literally physically painful. That's wild. Wild stuff. So when I realized it actually hurt, and I was like, oh my God, it's true what they say that words hurt, like words can hurt you. I'm like, it's literal. Holy crap. And I said, God, I wonder what can I do about that? Jeez. And I got the inspiration to do to take the concept of Reiki, and Reiki is the transmission of energy through your hands. It's basically just love. So if you hold your hand up to somebody with love, you're going to be giving them a version of Reiki. Okay. It was like, I've done Reiki on other people, and when I've gone to the place of pain within them, I will sit with them in that energy, my perception of the energy, and I will not push it away. I also will not invite it to set its tent and stay there forever. But by giving it room, and this is what you do for your emotions as well, by giving it room to speak to you, to be perceived, it allows it to start to move and morph into something else, because as humans, we never stay in the same place. And that's not because of our effort to get somewhere. It's our nature. It's actually our vibrational nature. It's really cool stuff. So in my imagination, I closed my eyes and I went to the first spot, and I'll never forget, it was right here. Yeah, it was right here. And I went inside and I imagined me very carefully walking up to that place, but sitting a little tiny distance from it so it wouldn't feel like I was trying to push it away or anything like that. And I sat down inside my mind in a cross-legged position, and I sent out the thought, I'm just here to offer you some mercy. And before I could even get that freaking sentence finished in my head, that pinprick of icicle, that thing melted, and I went, what is happening here? What is going on? So I went to it took a half hour. I went to each point in my body, and I sat with that feeling, that vibration, that sense. And every time I went to any place, and before it got to the point where before I could even sit down, those points melted. Okay. So then they were all done. You know what happened? For the next 3 days, I was in bliss. I was in absolute bliss. That's how big the difference was between how I'd been approaching myself and what I had done in just a half hour. That is why, and that is how slightly more positive energy is literally 10,000 times stronger than any darker energy than it. I wish I was like in the film The Matrix, I could like plug your brain into that so you experience it and go, oh my God, I get it. Because that's how you change your life. That's how you change your approach to what you do. I once could not, and not too long ago, guys, not too long ago, I thought there is no way I can get to where I want to go except by pushing. I've got to push really freaking hard. I've got to make this business work. That never stinking worked for me. It never worked for me. Has it worked for you? I mean, how much have you tried? When is it enough? I remember when I got back home from California, like the first week, and I'm lying there and I'm going, I'm thinking again about how hard I have to try again. And I thought, honey, you're 50 something. Have you tried enough? Is there a different way? You might need to do something different, for God's sake. How's that working out for you? I don't like Dr. Phil, but you get my point. And that's when I said, well, I don't know how to do it differently. I don't have a freaking clue. That's all right. Stop thinking you have to know it the minute you think of it and start realizing that you are an eternal student of yourself, of your capital S self. That's who you are. And you are gifts waiting to be unwrapped. Does this mean, knowing this, does that mean that you get to live every single day in bliss? No, you bet it doesn't. That's not the point. The point is you get to be this, oh my God, you get to marry yourself. You get to start to experience things in your life you thought you would never. I didn't think I was going to do this podcast. I didn't have a clue. I mean, I have tried podcasts before, but what I didn't know, I was going to do one about women, leadership, and tarot. Really? Now, I could have spent, I don't know, the next 10 years trying to figure out what would be a really good marketing technique. What would be the greatest way to get a sort of off kilter sort of situation I can do it. I couldn't have come up with this in that 10 years or in a month of Sundays. So, as they say. But one day, after I had started the podcast, which Bree TV, go to Bree TV, by the way, on YouTube. Go to Bree TV. She is so freaking fabulous. And she is the podcast queen. If you are trying to start a podcast and you need help starting your podcast or you have a podcast and you're like, why isn't it working? She has a whole thing where you can, for just $100, you can get this analysis of what you're doing and how to do it better. She is the bomb. She's amazing. Okay. And Alex is amazing. Okay. Now, what was I going to say? I was going to say, I wanted to respond to Carrie. I hope she's still in the room. But if not, it's okay. There are these, Bree, I hope that was helpful, honey. I hope that was useful. Let's see, the money thing. I put money before me every single freaking day for so many years that's another part of the reason I was failing as an entrepreneur. I couldn't even start a side hustle, for God's sake. Just saying. Oh, well, I'd really love to do this, but I couldn't because it won't make me money. Oh, I'd really, really like to do that, but it won't bring me money. That's not how it works. All of that stuff that we've learned about law of attraction and about, what are they called? Affirmations. I'm so glad, sweetie. I'm here for you too. Love you, girl. What the hell was I saying? See, I lose my heart, my mind. Distraction. Oh, the money thing. Okay. This goes really deep. And if you are like, I don't know, because I can't make it real for me right now, believe me, I don't only understand, I overstand. Sorry about my throat. I know that's probably annoying. Your supply Your supply will sometimes come from the outside. It will. You'll go to a job, they'll pay you. You'll go do a contract job for 5 weeks, they'll pay you. Somebody gives you a gift of $500 because they love you. Hey. Awesome. But if you want to goose that supply, that's an insight. Okay, so that's why we sit around going, I love money, money loves me, but and then it's not coming because while you're saying those things with your words, it's your energy that the universe listens to. The universe don't give a crap about your words, baby. I'm sorry, it doesn't care. It doesn't hear it. It's not like, oh, I don't care about her. No, it just doesn't hear it. It speaks vibration. And your emotion is your vibration. That's why we have to shift. That's why we have to shift that. So I just want to say to you, if you really want to shift what happens to you internally in terms of your relationship to your life and also what comes into your life and how courageous you could be in ways that you didn't know courage applied to, it starts and ends with you and with the emotion. And then an understanding here, getting clear on the stuff that you've been thinking about, believing about how the world works, how life works, that's just actually not true. Okay. Bree has said, no more bullshit. I'm getting it. She says, yeah, she's saying that she did this. She said, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to get what I want now. Yeah. So, I was going to tell you about this podcast thing. This goes to Bree, what you're saying. So I've been like, I'm really, really good at persevering. Oh my God, you could take freaking PhD courses from me about how to persevere. Good God. But it just doesn't get me anything. And you know what else? It not only doesn't get me anything that I want, like the money and the security and all that stuff that I think, and it doesn't get me the happiness that I think I'm going to have when I get there. It just means I live a miserable life. I don't want to live a miserable. I was living a miserable life. For real. I was miserable all the freaking time. And I am so fabulous. Aren't you? Of course you are. You're fabulous. You're like, yeah, but nobody sees it. You don't see it. I don't see my own half the time. That's not true. I see it a lot more now. But it's because I'm practicing it every day in a lot of different ways. There's not one way. Okay, there's not one magic way. There's no one magic. It's not like the blue pill or the red pill. It's not that. But when I started this podcast, it was about women and it was about all of that, all of the next level empowerment that we need. Right? But then one day I was like, I am so freaking bored. I'm bored. Is this a podcast? No, this is a live. Sorry. My podcast is Next Level Empowerment over on YouTube. God, I definitely need to go eat some food. And my friend is going to be like, where the hell are you? I'm supposed to meet her. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, so I started putting my attention to, God, I'm bored. And my first thought was like, oh crap, does this mean I'm going to give up my podcast? Again, Next Level Empowerment over on YouTube. Please join me. I have amazing people. I just interviewed Alex and put that out this past Friday. He's just such a delightful human. And it's all about people who are breaking the rules and doing things differently, and including the feminine. And, the feminine, like taking a break. The feminine, like Bree just said on YouTube, that fabulous dress. Don't wait for a great event. Wear it shopping, food shopping. I don't care. Yeah. Feel good now. Feel better now. So I'm sitting there going, oh God, this podcast, I'm so bored. I don't want to do this anymore, but that's terrible. I haven't even started. I need to do this. And I'm like, oh God, this means it's another one of those things where I'm just going to give it up because it's not the thing and I have to try again. And I'm like, oh my God, stop, Lori, stop. Take a breath. Let me tell you, even just the Lori take a breath thing, that's a freaking breakthrough. I want you to let yourself off of this like Hollywood hook of, oh, the angels are singing all that crap. Forget it. Your angel will sing when you're like, okay, honey, take a breath. Take a breath. That is a moment of intense kindness to yourself. And so what I thought was, well, what do I want to do? And I was pissed off. In that moment, I was pissed off. I wasn't in this Zen moment of like holy spiritual goodness. I was pissed. Oh my God, I'm so bored with this. What am I going to frickin' do? You know what I really want to do? I want to do frickin' tarot. And I pulled out my tarot deck and I went live. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I went live and I went, okay, let's pull a card for the collective, and then I started reading it through feminism, through emotional up-leveling, through the 1% solution, which is what I call my process. I mean, this is how you change your life. Okay. Not mad at you, y'all. When I get impassioned, it can be read as anger, first of all, because I'm a woman. Second of all, because I'm freaking angry. Women are not supposed to be angry, really. Really. If you knew 1/8 of what our lives are really like as women, you'd start buying us thank you notes every single day of your life. Like it's insane. Let yourself use your anger for forward movement. Let yourself use your anger and your frustration as a jumping off point that says, oh, this is ridiculous. I won't do this anymore. Just like Bree just said on YouTube, which is, no, I'm not waiting for my happiness. Forget it. Now. It's right stinking now. What am I going to do in this freaking moment? If you can capture that lightning in the bottle, you're off. You're on your way. You're on your way. Okay, now I have to get off of here, but first I'm going to tell you a few things. Oh, thank you. That's the most beautiful thing. That heart with love you. Wow. Listen, you guys, I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. Okay. I will eventually get this technical stuff worked out, but I couldn't do it in half an hour this morning and I slept in. So, oh well. I'm also here, as I have been today, at 11 o'clock on Sundays. And I think I might be doing this on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. All of the times I said are Eastern Standard. But I'll let you know. And also, I want to invite you yet again to the Wednesday meeting that I have. It's free for women entrepreneurs, women leaders of any kind who want to explore business from the perspective that is outside the norms we've learned. We are bringing in other ways of doing things, and we're doing it together. We're breaking through that eggshell that we've all been enclosed in for our entire lives and for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. We're stepping into something different that we are creating. The structure around us in this country, in the U.S., is breaking. And that's because we're here as women to birth the new. That's you, that's me, that's us together. On Wednesdays, I have on Zoom a virtual women's circle mastermind, and you should come. Now, to do that this week, I'm going to have this dialed in a way that I can shoot you a link and you're good. But for today, for this week, you're going to have to email me at goodbyegoodgirlproject@gmail.com. It's not goodbye girl. Don't do that. It's goodbyegoodgirlproject@gmail.com. And DM me here, send up a pigeon, send a pigeon this way, like whatever, send a psychic wish. You can't do that. I can't, I'm not that good. And I will email you the place that you can go either on LinkedIn which is where I put up the events. I don't have it up yet for this week, so don't go right now. Or I will just send you the Zoom link and you can come. Okay? I know your abilities, even if you don't. I know. There's not one woman I've ever worked with one-on-one in my coaching. There's not one woman I've ever worked with who hasn't, in record time, by just being able to be held in an energy of, I see you. And being told, yes, I do see that strength. And here's another one that maybe you're not seeing. And then she goes, holy crap, you're right. And then having her speak it, experiencing it, feel it in her body. There's not one of them who hasn't come out of her shell and gone, I didn't even know I could do that. I didn't know I had that much. You are infinite. You're infinite. It's much more fun to explore that than how am I wrong? I have to fix me. You don't have to fix a frickin' thing. You have to let in the light, and the light is feminine, and the feminine is your emotional flow. It just is. If you want to learn more about this for free, head over to YouTube to Abraham Hicks. That works for me. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it. This is sovereignty. What works for you? Not what is the next rule that I have to follow. The only thing you have to follow is, do you feel a little bit better? Do you feel some relief? And can you allow yourself to marinate for just a few seconds in that feeling of feeling a little bit better? Because what that does, if you do it for just 17 seconds, is it starts the manifestation process. And manifestation is not something you do. It's something that happens from your emotional set point. This is a lot. This is like ridiculously a lot. But there you have it. I want to wish you love and moxie, and I want to thank you from the very bottom, sides, top, ups and downs, arounds and round the other way of my heart for being here. And Bree and Alex, mwah. And wow, I'm just so glad I started doing this. This is lovely. Lots of love and moxie. Bye now, guys.